All right, so I'm gonna walk you through the steps on how to make your paper go from this to this. All right, so if you want to practice on one of your extra sheets, that is just fine, because you don't want to get all this done and then, oh, you accidentally tore something or something goes horribly wrong. Now, this one is obviously colored. This one's not. I've already cut this one out and gotten this one pretty close to done, but I think it's going to be easier for you to see what I'm doing on a blank one. So I'm going to walk you through it on a blank one, okay? So for this, the first step, we are going to need a pair of scissors. Preferably some nice sharp ones so you get a nice crisp cut, but it's actually a fairly easy cut. You could probably even do it with a paper cutter if you have one of those at home, but scissors works just as fine. And this extra stuff is just recyclable scraps. We don't need them. All right, so I'm done cutting it out, and now what I have to do is I have to score, okay? And what that means is we are going to take something and right along these curves, we are actually going to press, okay? And what that does is it breaks kind of, it doesn't break, but it makes it so it's gonna be easier for us to fold that curve. Now, I suggest you have something kind of like a stack of papers or something underneath when you do it. I'm just going to take my folder here. If you have one of those mat cutting boards, that works too. Now, if you're super fancy, I'm kind of doubting you have one of these, but you could use a bone folder. That's what this is called. That's just like an old tool. I'm going to go with just a mechanical pencil that I don't have any of the lead out of. So I'm actually going to use the plastic part that's right there. And all you're going to do is push nice and hard right along that curve, so you can see it leaves a bit of a dent in the paper, and you're going to do that for all of the curves. All right, so now that's done, we have to kind of force the folds to happen. Now, it's not like you're folding the paper in half, you're just kind of folding it so that when we start curving it into a loop, we're gonna be able to push those curves down. And so what you're gonna do is you're gonna kind of put one finger on like the outside of where you folded, one set of fingers, and then you're just gonna kind of force that fold along the line. Now, if you didn't really score it very well, it's gonna be really hard for you. But if you scored it pretty well and you've got like a nice indent there, it should work nicely with you. And you're gonna do that with every single curve. All right, so now we have to go from strips to sphere. Okay, and I'm going to show you it twice. I'm going to show you it once with the plain, and then I'll show you it with my color one, because with this one I have to be more conscientious of what's going where. So the first thing you're going to do is reflatten those back out. I know you're probably like, oh, but I just went through all that. No, don't worry, it makes sense. Now you're either going to use glue, or in my case, I'm just going to use some clear tape, just so that I don't have to wait each time. But what you're going to do is you are going to take that tape, and you are going to make a loop. Okay, so line it up and tape. And I would actually tape both sides if I were you, if you're taping. If you're not taping and you're gluing, then obviously there's only one side to glue. All right, so that's one loop. Now we need our second loop. Tape. Tape. Okay, so we have 2 loops. We're gonna put 1 loop inside of the other like this, okay? And we want it so that these arcs on this one and these arcs on this one are visible, okay? Now here comes the hard loop, it's this one. So I'm actually gonna have a piece of tape at the ready so that I don't have to try to tear it, okay? You are going to feed this loop through here and through here, and then tape on this side. So do you see how it it captures the other loops inside of it? So I'm gonna tape that. Taping the other side of this one's gonna be kind of hard. Slide it and tape it. Got some extra tape there. I might trim that off later. Now I have to twist this one until that tape part is hidden and I have the arcs. And so now here's where the scoring comes into play. We are going to just push down and push down, push down, and push down, turn, push down, and push down, push down, push down. And then my last strip looks like it moved a little bit, so I gotta help it back into place. Push down. And push down. So now my 3 strips have become 1 sphere. So I'll show you that again, except I'll show you with a color one now, okay? So I'm gonna start with 1 strip turning into a loop. Line it up. Tape. And if you want your tape to wrap around your edges, you can. Tape the inside. Remember, if you're gluing, you're gonna wanna hold it for like 10 seconds. All right, tape my second loop. And I made it too long, so I'm gonna have it wrap around. Tape the inside. All right, so if you recall with mine, I have to pay attention to which one of my arcs is happening. So if I do it this way, that's not gonna work because that makes my green arcs on top of my red. I don't want that. So I have to go this way so that my yellow arcs are between my red and my orange arcs are between my yellow and my red. Okay, so then that way, when I sneak the blue in here, it's got the yellow and the green, because hey, wouldn't you know it, yellow plus blue makes da-da-da-da green. Go team. So I'm gonna tape this guy. Tape the inside. Carefully. All right, this is the part where you can't forget to twist it. That's a biggie. Make sure all your arcs are in the right spot. And then you push them down. So as you can see, because I paid attention to what arc goes where, I have it where it transitions nicely between my red to my orange to my yellow to my green to my blue, and my blue to my purple to my red. So now I have a nice color sphere instead of a color wheel.